Mario Kart 8 came out in April 2014, which means it's been over 5 years since we've gotten the last Mario Kart game. That is the longest it has been of gaps between any Mario Kart games. And that's not even counting any of the arcade or anything like that. Just in mainline Mario Kart games, that's the longest gap we've had. And yeah, we had Deluxe in 2017, but that was just a port. Had a new battle mode, but it wasn't a brand new Mario Kart game. And we've also got Mario Kart Tour coming later this year, or whenever that's coming. But I think we can most of us can agree that isn't a main series Mario Kart game. Even all the tracks, from what I've heard, or at least a lot of the tracks, are coming from past Mario Kart games. Apparently a lot of them are from Mario Kart 7, so I definitely think that we can agree that isn't a main series Mario game. So this has all got me thinking about, or it's really gotten me itching for the next Mario Kart game. Mario Kart is one of my favorite series, and I'm sure that's true for a lot of you guys. And it has been a really long time since we've gotten a new one, so I'm really excited, even though, there's been no hints or anything that we're going to get one soon. I feel like one's got to be sometime down the line for the Switch, and I just really want to talk about what I want for that game, what my hopes are for Mario Kart 9. It might be called that, might not, but same difference. We all know what we're talking about. Next Mario Kart game, mainline one for Nintendo Switch. And I think we can expect that will happen eventually, even if it's not for a couple years or whenever. But my number one hope, or maybe not, these aren't necessarily in order, these are just sort of, they're not in any specific order, but the first one that I want to talk about is just that it's soon. This is a little bit of a cop-out hope, because it doesn't have to do with the game itself. It's just that I really want to play a new Mario Kart game, so I hope that it comes sooner rather than later. I don't think it will come this year. And it's possible Mario Kart 9 could get announced at E3 and get released later this year. But my hope is that Mario Kart 9 will get released in 2020. I'm thinking maybe it'll get announced at E3 in 2020, or maybe earlier in the year in 2020, and then be released for the holiday of that year. I know some people will say they already have Deluxe on the Switch and you don't want to have two games competing for one purchase, but I think at that point it'll have been over 3 years, almost 3.5 years, or about 3.5 years, since Mario Kart 8 Deluxe will have been released. And a lot of people who bought Deluxe, I think, are going to come back and still buy Mario Kart 9. I don't think there's going to be that much competition. And Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the best-selling game on the Switch, I'm pretty sure. So even if not everybody who has that game buys Mario Kart 9 because they think that they're satisfied with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I think a lot of them still will. They'll be really excited for a brand new Mario Kart game. And since Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sold so well, I think it's also fair to assume that Mario Kart 9 will also probably sell really well. So I think that, if anything, the success of that game will make them more likely to want to release a Mario Kart 9, because it probably will sell super well, because it's a super popular series. My next hope is that when the game releases, this full $60 Mario Kart game has a full, legit, no-holds-barred battle mode. Now, I don't actually own Deluxe, since I didn't want to pay, like a full $60 just to get basically the battle mode and a couple characters, since I already own Mario Kart 8. But I've played it a bit at my friend's house, and from what I know, the battle mode seems to be pretty good. But of course, in the original Mario Kart 8, the battle mode was really not very good. They didn't even have any battle arenas, which I think is the first time ever in a Mario Kart game. Correct me if I'm wrong. Definitely in recent memory, because even the original Mario Kart, I'm pretty sure, had battle arenas. I don't know if maybe like Super Circuit did, or I don't know, but there was just a select amount of regular tracks that you could do battle modes on, but the tracks are built for racing. They're really not built for battles, so basically not having a battle mode, not having a fun battle mode, was pretty disappointing about Mario Kart 8, and of course Deluxe came out and did have a great battle mode. I really hope that Mario Kart 9 just has a good, fun battle mode with hopefully maybe even a new mode or so, like how Mario Kart 8 Deluxe had that Piranha Plant mode. I forget what it's called, kind of like Cops and Robbers. I don't know if they had any other new modes, but that was a really fun mode, or is a really fun mode, so hopefully they even have another new mode like that. But just have it there from the beginning of the game. Don't make it be paid DLC. Don't make it be something you can only get in a port or something like that. It's not, especially after Deluxe, it's what people are gonna have come to expect now. I really hope it's there. Next thing is a really easy fix that it's just, a lot of these are just problems. Like, Mario Kart 8 is one of my favorite games. It's definitely my favorite Mario Kart game, but there are some problems with it that would be very easy to fix that I hope Mario Kart 9 changes, but it shouldn't be that difficult at all. And one of them is horizontal 2-player multiplayer. So, I'm sure you've all played Mario, maybe not all, but many of you played Mario Kart Wii, and that is probably the most famous Mario Kart game, very well known for local multiplayer. And if you are playing 2-player multiplayer, one of you has half the top of the screen, the other of you has the bottom of the screen, but you still have got a horizontal field of view. You just can't see as far up and down. But for some reason in Mario Kart 8, if you're playing 2-player multiplayer, the screen gets cut vertically, so you can't see to your left or right. But in a racing game, you need to see to your left or right. You need to see the turns that you're making. So if you are playing 2-player multiplayer, and like for me, since I know the game's tracks, it's annoying, but it's not that big of a deal because I know the layout of the track, so I sort of know where I'm going. But if you want to play with somebody who hasn't played this game before, they're just screwed. Like, they don't know the layout of the tracks, and they can't see where they're going because you don't have any peripheral vision, because like you can only see straight ahead and you can't see where your turns are going. So it really cripples the multiplayer of that game. So it basically makes it so that you need 3 or 4 people if you want to have a good time in multiplayer, because 2-player multiplayer, just vertical, it just doesn't work well for this game. So I really hope that's something they change in Mario Kart 9, or at least, make it an option. I don't really know why they made that decision in 8, but hopefully they change it back. Hopefully they listen to the fans, the outlash, I guess. Or not outlash. It's not outlash. It's just it's not a nitpicky thing, but it's not like, oh, I want a story mode. Like, obviously everyone thinks it would be cool. Like, I think it would be cool if Mario Kart tried a story mode, but it's not something I need or anything like that. I just, think it would be a nice thing if they fixed this. It would make 2-player multiplayer a lot more fun, and it wouldn't take that much work, so hopefully they do it. And another multiplayer, quality of life change is that in Mario Kart 8, which I think this is also the first time they did this, if everybody finishes and you're doing multiplayer and one person doesn't finish, so say we're playing a 3-player race, right? I finish, friend A finishes, and then all the CPUs finish, but friend B, let's say Bob, rage quit after the second lap. He's like, I don't want to play anymore. Now, normally in most Mario Kart games, the race would just end. The last place player wouldn't get to finish because we already know they're the last place player, so there's no point in them finishing the race. But in Mario Kart 8, it makes them finish the race. So if somebody quits or decides they don't want to play anymore, you basically have to quit and choose your characters again, which is really annoying, especially if, say, you were in the second or third race and you wanted to keep the points you had, but one of your friends didn't want to play anymore. Then you have to, after the race is over, pick up his controller and finish the race for him, which can be really annoying because it won't end until he finishes. So I really hope that they change it back to just being after the 11th place person finishes, the race ends. Or at least maybe if you want to give them time, if you want to let them finish, give them 15 seconds or something to finish the race or whatever. But don't just make the race go on forever until the last place person finishes, because it makes it kind of annoying, because it prevents the game from being drop in, drop out. Because normally if someone just doesn't want to play anymore, it's fine, they're going to get last and the race will end. So it's not that big of a deal. So hopefully they change that back to how it used to be. Another thing, most of these are just really kind of quality of life things. I spent a lot of time, more time than anything else in that game by a long shot, or in Mario Kart 8, playing online. I really love playing online in Mario Kart 8. It's the first game in the series that I really played a lot of online because my Wii couldn't connect to my Wi-Fi for some reason, so I never played Mario Kart Wii online. And Mario Kart 7, I just never, for some reason, just didn't play online very much. I think the 3DS was the first console I had that I could really play online with, because my Wii and DS couldn't connect to my Wi-Fi for some reason, and I didn't have Xbox Live for my Xbox 360 growing up. So when I got Mario Kart 7 was one of the first games, along with 3D Land, that I got for my 3DS. So I kind of just wasn't used to playing online yet, so I don't think I ever really played online for that game. I mean, I did, but not that much. Mario Kart 8, I've spent dozens and dozens and dozens of hours playing online, and it is really the longevity. That is what makes that game have such a long life for me. I still go back to Mario Kart 8 and play it online. And the most annoying thing about it is that after each race, it takes longer than it should to get into another race. What will happen is the race will end and you'll go back to a lobby where you can choose between one of 3 random tracks, or you can choose random if you don't want to do any of those tracks. which is a good way to do it, right? Instead, like, they could just make it just go to a random track, but then, you know, people wouldn't get any input and the more popular tracks wouldn't get chosen. But it'll do this, and it gives you way too long to choose a track. It should give you, like, honestly, 5 seconds, maybe 10, it should give you like 10 seconds, because what'll happen is there's always, not always, but a lot of the time someone just doesn't pick a track. So you have to wait like 30 seconds, and then you wait a while, and it feels like you've waited a while, and then it's like 10, 9, 8, and gives them another 10 seconds to choose a track, the people that haven't chosen tracks. And then say they don't choose a track, the time runs out, it'll just pick like a random one for them, or maybe they just don't get a pick, I forget. And then it will go like, and it will like go throughout all the picks, so it has some suspense building up to it, and then it will randomly pick one. But that's kind of like cool, I guess, the first few times, but after a while it just takes way too long. There's no reason we need to go through all that nonsense. We just want to pick a track and get into the race. I really wouldn't be opposed to it just picking a random track. Like, I finished a race on Mario Circuit, and then just the next race starts just on Bowser's Castle or whatever. I honestly would not be opposed to that, because what is the bad thing about Mario Kart 8 Online is you don't spend enough of the time racing. You do spend way more time than you should in the lobby. But on the other hand, I understand like how having a quick break in a lobby can be a good thing. So maybe you should have a lobby, go back to the lobby between races, but just give people like a maximum of 10 seconds. Even that I feel like is too long. There's only 3 tracks and random. Like, 10 seconds is enough. So just give people 10 seconds to pick a track, and then when it's after the 10 seconds is over, don't go like beep beep and give them another 10 seconds. Don't give them another countdown like, hey, you didn't pick a track yet. Just like, if they forget, they forget. It's fine. They'll figure it out very quickly. Or maybe on like the bottom left, just have the 10-9 thing counting down so people know how much time they have left. But don't give people extra time because of that, because it just takes way too long. And then after everyone's made their pick, just pick a random one of it. You don't need to go through a whole counter like do and then pick a random one. Just pick a random one, because we're here to race. We just want to get into the race. So just I don't see the need to delay it so much. I think even if they want to, instead of just like pick a random one, it could go like it could go through that whole thing really quickly in like 2 seconds and then pick one, instead of spending the amount of time that it does. So I think that would improve the game a lot, because there are times I go back to this game a lot for online, but there are times when I'm like, you know, I kind of don't want to go back to that today because I feel like I'll spend too much time in the lobby and I don't really feel like doing that. So hopefully that's a change that they can implement. You know, another thing about online is it's but it's not really clear what CC you're racing. Like, obviously you can kind of figure it out just if you have a good judgment on how fast each CC is, but sometimes it's hard to tell between 100cc and 150cc, and I don't like that it's left vague. I think how it works is when you start playing, you're usually on 100cc, and then depending on how good your VR is, which is like your ranking, it's basically how much you've played the game, then you'll get into 150cc races depending on how good like the average VR of the room is. But VR for me has basically always gone up. Like, the more I play, it just goes up. It's not like a thing that goes up and down depending on how good I do. It kind of just always goes up. I mean, maybe like you'll reach a point where, alright, you're not that great of a racer, you're probably not going to get past this VR. But to me, it's really a measurement of how much time you've put into the game. And I don't really like how that determines whether you get to do 150cc or not. I feel like it's like, alright, you gotta play this many hours, then you can do 150cc races. I feel like you should just be able to choose what you want to do online. Like, you can just put me in a room with 150cc people, or put me in 100. Like, as a default option, you can just pick 100 or 150 or 200, instead of it just sort of being kind of random. And at least they should also like let you know, because it's really annoying for me to like try to guess if I'm in a 100 or 150cc race. I really just want to know. So they should let you choose. And if they didn't let you choose, at least like a way to see like in the lobby if it tells you, that would be nice. But I think that's really something that you should choose, because I feel like I would always choose 150 over 100. And the only one possible downside I feel in that is, say most races are 100 and now I'm going to do 150 instead. You would, in theory, spend more time in the lobby because the races would be shorter. But once again, I feel like that could just be fixed by lowering the amount of time you spend in the lobby. So we're almost through this list of hopes I have for Mario Kart 9. You know, Mario Kart 8 is an amazing game, so I don't want them to radically change too much. It's mostly just sort of small things like that. But I guess I could talk about the roster for a little bit. A lot of people really don't like the roster in Mario Kart 8, and I don't have a very negative opinion on it. I do understand why. There are characters that there's no character that I wish wasn't there. Like, if you're going to add a character, sure, add it. Like, I'd rather have that than nothing. But there are characters that I think are kind of silly that I would rather have different characters in. I mean, the babies, I'm not really a fan of the babies because they just kind of don't make sense to me. Like, how is Baby Mario also racing with Mario? But on the other hand, like, it's fine. But I don't like really how, like, Baby Rosalina, like, what? Baby Rosalina has never been in any game ever. So it is kind of weird that Baby Rosalina is just in this game. Like, Baby Mario and Baby Luigi, that I understand because, oh, they were in Yoshi's Island. Like, that's cool. Baby Luigi is in Yoshi's Island DS, Partners in Time. But sort of to just have a new baby that was never in the game is kind of weird to me. But on the other hand, you know, like, I honestly don't care that much. Like, that's kind of cool. Like, that's what Baby Rosalina would have been. Maybe the babies that are time traveling from the past also brought Rosalina with them, even though they didn't meet Rosalina until they're adults. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but the canon's already been established, so I don't even mind too much. It's just kind of a weird thing. Like, it probably would be better if they had a different character, like Egad or something like that. Same thing with Metal Mario and Pink Gold Peach. Pink Gold Peach is my main in Mario Kart 8, so I'm kind of a hypocrite, but that's more based on what character I do best with rather than my favorite. But I really don't like how Metal Mario and Pink Gold Peach. Like, what are you? Because Metal Mario is a power-up. So what is this character that is racing alongside Mario? Like, is Metal Mario a separate entity now? I don't know. That's just super weird to me. And now they got Cat Peach and Tanuki Mario racing alongside Mario. Like they're not alternate costumes. They're different characters. What? I don't know. On one hand, it's not really that big of a deal, but on the other hand, it's kind of, if everything was up to me, I would rather have different characters take those slots if you can only have so many characters. Particularly, I would love to have characters that have never been in a Mario Kart game, and not like, oh, Fireflower Mario has never been in a Mario Kart game, but no, like something like Professor Egad that has really never been in a Mario Kart game. That is a new character to have in there. Is where I think would be cool. A lot of people don't like the Koopalings. I kind of get that because they take up a lot of slots, and they're all very similar. Like, they're not that similar, but like, you could have 8 instead of the Koopalings. You could have 8 characters that are all very different. I don't know if that's how many there are. I think that is, but yeah, because there's 8 worlds, right? But either way, I don't know. Roster's not a huge thing on my list, but I thought I'd mention it. It would be cool too if they continue the trend of having more Nintendo characters. I don't know, some people think they're going to go full on like Smash Kart. Like, they would never not call it Mario Kart, but some people think they're really going to do like a Nintendo Kart. I think it's still going to keep a Mario focus, but continuing to add more Nintendo characters would be cool. Honestly, the best possible thing is just to have a really big roster. You know, so then people wouldn't, like, you can't be disappointed. There's all these different choices, but obviously it takes time and resources to make characters, and you know, characters are not the most important thing in this game by a long shot. So honestly, whatever happens to the roster, not a huge deal to me, but thought I'd throw some of that stuff out there. And then the last thing I want to mention is just I really hope it carries over anti-gravity. I think it will. I think there's a very low chance that it won't do that. Same way with how Mario Kart 8 carried over gliding and underwater. First of all, it just makes the game way better, but even like, say they want to bring past courses from Mario Kart 8 and stuff, I feel like the Mario Kart games always want to be backwards compatible in a way that they can bring over backwards courses, or bring over previous courses. And they don't want to make it so that they can't bring over an old course because, oh, we can't do that anymore because we don't have anti-gravity, you know? If anything, they make courses better when they bring them over, not worse. But really, just anti-gravity, it's not even about backwards compatibility to me. It's more just about the track design in Mario Kart 8 is so phenomenally better than, it's phenomenal, but it's so much better than any previous Mario Kart game. Like, I think for the most part, track design's gotten better with each game, for the most part. But Mario Kart 8 just goes crazy with it. Like, I think Piranha Plant Slide, I don't remember if it was my favorite, but it was definitely one of my favorite tracks in Mario Kart 7. And I don't even think it's in my top 10 in Mario Kart 8, because that's how good the tracks in Mario Kart 8 are. And I think anti-gravity allowed them to be a lot more creative with the tracks So I really hope it's something they carry over. I hope they carry over gliding and diving too. I don't think that they wouldn't. I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll improve on those mechanics, gliding and diving. Maybe they can make them even better somehow. I don't know. And I also think it would be cool if they have another sort of new track mechanic, like how 7 had the air and the sea and how 8 had anti-gravity. It would be cool if 9 had another one that enhanced the racing, but I don't think it's really fair for me to say, like, I want that, I need that, when I don't even have an idea for what that would be. So I don't think that's necessary. I think if you kept the same sort of formula of tracks as Mario Kart 8, but just made another 16 amazing tracks, I think that would be perfectly fine. So, but either way, whatever they want to do. And that's about it. That'll wrap it up for me. Those are definitely my main hopes for Mario Kart 8. Like, the roster thing is not really that big of a deal to me. I just thought I'd mention it, what I want for the roster, because that's something that is fun to speculate about, even though in the grand scheme of Mario Kart things, it's not too big on my list. But a lot of those, like, quality of life things are the stuff I want the most. The number one thing for me, though, is to have much less time spent in the lobby and way more time spent racing online, because I do spend most of my time playing this game, at least for Mario Kart 8, and probably the same for 9, racing online. And the more time you can spend racing, the less time sitting in the lobby, a little bit bored, is the better. So let me know what you guys want for Mario Kart 9. What are your hopes? Also, I didn't really cover this in this video. I did a little, but let me know your predictions for Mario Kart 9, and let me know when you think it will be announced or released, if ever. I think that it will be announced and released in 2020. That's my guess, but, you know, who really knows? It's anyone's guess, I suppose. So let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys next time.